be deemed to be treaty because it rises to that level of importance.
For the situation they're in, they blame the police entirely. They say that the police system here, as reporters have found, has been paying out enormous settlements because of abuses, has been getting away, they feel, literally with murder.
And the breaking news, 1,000 National Guard troops are now deployed in Baltimore, along with thousands of police officers.
Isn't it the right word?
No, of course it's not the right word to call our children thugs. These are children who have been set aside, marginalized, who have not been engaged by us. No, we don't have to call them thugs.
But how does that justify what they did? I mean, that's a sense of right from wrong. They know it's wrong to steal and burn down a CVS and an old person's home. I mean, come on.
Come on. So calling them thugs, just call them niggers. Just call them niggers. No, we don't have to call them by names such as that. We don't have to do that. That is exactly what we've sent them to. No, when you say come on what? You would call your child a thug if they should do something that would not be what you would expect them to do.
Look, I respect your point of view. I would hope that I would call my son a thug if he ever did such a thing, but...
Who is the big loser in the Baltimore riots? The answer is the African-American community.
Baltimore police said that they would wrap their investigation by this Friday, but believe it or not, we're now being told that the findings may not be made public that day.
The people of Baltimore want transparency. We still don't have answers as to what happened in the van. And, you know, even after all this, we still don't have the answers that we need. So, I mean, what more is it going to take?
Now, Harlem is an interesting example of an area that was once very tough and very blighted, which has now come back to life because investment and business has come up there.
Because people in the community created that.
And that's right, by behaving within the law.
This man said he wasn't looting, but understood why others were rioting.
Just people tired of being pushed. You push people in the corner, it's only so long you're going to push them in the corner before they fight back. That's what all of this is, people fighting back.
When you say that you want justice, what type of message do you think it sends to the world when we're waiting on that justice and due process from the police investigation that we see residents last night looting and rioting in the city? Does that represent the population of the city?
No, it doesn't. But my question to you is, when we were out here protesting all last week for 6 days straight peacefully, there were no news cameras, there were no helicopters, there was no riot gear, and nobody heard us. So now that we burned down buildings and set businesses on fire and looted buildings, now all of a sudden everybody wants to hear us. Why does it take a catastrophe like this in order for America to hear our cry? I mean, enough is enough. We've had too many lives lost at the hands of police officers. Enough is enough.
The facts then dictate that racial persecution really isn't the problem in Baltimore. Something else is in play. And that something else is personal behavior. There is no linkage between what happened to Freddie Gray and torching buildings. Peaceful demonstrations get national attention. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. proved that beyond any doubt.
But Congressman, let me ask you to respond to Councilman Stokes. Do you think that calling the bad actors last night thugs is the equivalent of the N-word?
Let me just do something here, because it's important we not shift the focus into something that has absolutely nothing to do with poverty, despair, hunger, homelessness, and a sense of not belonging. That's what this is coming out of. So whether we call him a thug, a lawbreaker, a juvenile delinquent, it really doesn't matter. What matters is, how do we take back our streets?
What is World segment tonight in light of what's happening in Baltimore? We wanted also to tell you about black-on-black violence in the city of Chicago, to put things into perspective. So question, violence is out of control in Chicago. The Chicago Police Department says there are now more than 600 gangs in the city, with a combined membership of 70,000, more than ISIS.
Marina, just so I understand it, are you saying that people are going up to that police line and saying awful things to the police officer standing there?
Yeah, sorry, come back at this. All right. We're gonna go send it back to you. Sorry about this.
All right, Leland, get to someplace safe. This is ridiculous. This is how folks want to be heard. They want to shout down the reporter. They want to endanger him. They want to get in his face. Really? We're staying on this. Leland's got the police right behind him. You can see that there. And we have a security guard with him as well, and we're going to make sure that he stays safe. But this is the situation that is down there. This is the way folks are dealing with their anger. shouting down a reporter trying to do his job, trying to bring their message out. That's what he's trying to do. Tell me why you're angry. And other people are shouting in his face, the profanities and other things.
City has the 5th highest murder rate in the country. 90% of homicide victims in Baltimore are black. 90% of murder suspects are black. 90% of those arrested for robbery are black. About 90% of those arrested for aggravated assault are black. And arrests for all offenses in the city of Baltimore, Maryland, 85% black. And black crime in general has set that city back decades. These idiotic thugs rioting and looting are hurting their own people. Every American, even criminals, should be safe in police custody. But it is also long past time for African American communities across America to begin to police themselves. No bureaucracy is going to help you. The communities have to do it themselves.
Rick, have you asked anybody whether they plan on obeying the curfew? Do you know whether folks plan on adhering to it?
You said, am I planning to obey the curfew? What curfew? We as black people can unite without going through a whole bunch of drama and people viewing us as bad people.
Thank you.
It can happen.
Thank
we
you.
will obey the curfew.
Thank you. Well, that's one voice, Megan.
There you have it, Rick. Thank you. One voice counts.
Now, something I want to point out to you with some people in the crowd, you can see the face mask, the bandanas up over the face. The red bandanas come to be known as indicative of the gang Bloods, or blue bandanas out here indicative of the gang Crips.
This is an intimidation factor right here.
Because you see them with the gear.
You see them with the gear making a barricade, telling citizens of Baltimore that they can't walk through their own communities. Yes, that is very much antagonizing.
All right, got your opinion. Thank you very much.
Thomas Crawford, Garnett Valley, Pennsylvania. Bill, please sound the alarm. There are serious cultural issues in minority neighborhoods that are causing poverty. Most people are afraid to discuss them. I know, Thomas, but I've been sounding the alarm for 19 years. There's tremendous opposition to walking away from victimization. There's also tremendous resistance to self-reliance in this country. We're trying to break that down here.
What is their basis for believing the police are out to hurt them tonight?
Well, frankly, I think they just pull it out of thin air.
In everybody's life, there's tragedy, pain, suffering, and mystery. Why me? People of faith pray. Sometimes prayers are not answered, and sometimes folks get angry about that. To me, that kind of anger is natural. Praying for worthy things is noble. And when those things do not come, do not happen, disappointment is natural. Factor tip of the day, be honest with yourself. And if you're a believer, know that a just God understands genuine emotion, anger included. Word of the day, no calamity. No calamity when writing to the factor. Great word.